There are moments in history when faith is not tested by words or doubts, but by fire itself. The story of the people of the trench is one of those moments, a time when belief in Allah came at the highest possible cost, and where truth stood unflinching before tyranny. This story is so significant that it's preserved forever in the Qur'an, in Surah, a chapter revealed in Makkah when the early Muslims were themselves facing intense persecution. It wasn't sent down just as a history lesson, but as a source of comfort, a stark warning, and a source of strength for every believer who would ever have to suffer for their faith. Our story begins long ago, in a land ruled by a king with absolute authority. He didn't just demand loyalty to his throne. He demanded that everyone worship him and his false beliefs. His entire kingdom was built on fear and unquestioning obedience. Any hint of dissent was crushed. Among his subjects lived a young boy, exceptionally intelligent and sincere. The king, seeing his potential, sent him to learn magic from the royal court's sorcerer. But the boy's path to the sorcerer took him past the home of a righteous monk, a man who believed in Allah, and Allah alone. From this monk, the boy began to learn something far more powerful than any magic. He learned about the truth of Tawhid, the oneness of God. The boy was now torn between two completely different worlds. On one side, the sorcerer taught him tricks and illusions. On the other, the monk taught him about the creator of the heavens and the earth. He needed to know which path was real. One day, his moment of certainty arrived. A huge, terrifying beast was blocking the main road, and the people were frozen in fear. Unable to pass, the boy saw his chance to test the teachings. He picked up a small stone and made a sincere prayer to Allah, saying, "O Allah, if the way of the monk is more beloved to you than the way of the sorcerer, then let this beast be killed so the people can pass." He threw the stone, and by Allah's will, the massive beast fell down, dead. From that moment on, the boy had no doubt. He knew where the truth was. He dedicated himself to the path of Allah, and Allah in His mercy granted the boy miraculous abilities. But these weren't for fame or status. They were clear signs for the people. Through Allah's permission, the boy could heal the blind and cure the sick. As he performed these miracles, he would always say, "It is not I who heals you, but my Lord." People began to see the truth. They started to believe not in the boy but in the Lord of the boy, the one true God. Word of this new faith spreading among his people quickly reached the king. He was furious. How dare his subjects worship anyone but him? He summoned the boy and demanded to know the source of his incredible power. The boy, full of courage and conviction, refused to take any credit. He spoke only of Allah. The king was enraged by his defiance. He had the boy tortured, hoping to break his spirit. He threatened him, but the boy's faith never wavered. The king then tried multiple times to have the boy killed. He had his soldiers take him to the top of a mountain to be thrown off, but the mountain shook, and the soldiers fell instead. He had them take the boy onto a boat to be drowned in the sea, but a storm capsized the boat, drowning the soldiers while the boy survived. Each attempt failed, protected by the will of Allah. Finally, having exhausted all his options, the boy revealed something astonishing to the frustrated king. He said, "You will never be able to kill me unless you do exactly what I tell you." Desperate to eliminate this threat to his power, the king listened intently. The boy instructed him, "You must gather all the people in an open square. Tie me to the trunk of a tree. Then, take an arrow from my own quiver, and before you shoot, you must declare publicly, 'In the name of Allah, the Lord of this boy.'" Consumed by his pride and arrogance, the king thought this was his moment of victory. He would finally rid himself of this problem in front of everyone. He did exactly as the boy said. He gathered the masseuse, tied the boy to the tree, took the arrow, and shouted the words for all to hear. "In the name of Allah, the Lord of this boy." He released the arrow, and it struck the boy. The boy's soul returned to his Lord. But in that moment, the king had sealed his own downfall. He had publicly declared the lordship of Allah. When the thousands of people gathered there saw this, Miracle saw that the king could only succeed by calling on the boy as God, cried out with one powerful voice, "We believe in the Lord of the boy. We believe in the Lord of the boy." Faith spread through the crowd like an unstoppable wildfire. The king's plan had backfired in the most spectacular way. He had meant to extinguish one light of faith, But instead, he had lit thousands. The king's response was not one of reflection, but of pure, brutal rage. He ordered his soldiers to dig massive, deep trenches in the ground. He had them filled with wood and set ablaze, creating enormous pits of fire. Then, his soldiers dragged the new believers' men, women, and even children to the edge of the flames. They were given a final, horrifying choice: renounce your new faith in Allah, or be thrown into the fire. One by one, they were questioned, and one by one, they stood firm. They chose eternal life with their Lord over a temporary life under a tyrant. They were thrown into the fire not screaming in terror, not begging for their lives, but with hearts full of belief. The story tells of a mother who was brought to the edge of the trench, holding her infant child in her arms. For a split second, her human fear for her baby made her hesitate. She looked at the roaring flames, and then at her child. In that moment of intense trial, Allah granted a miracle. The infant baby spoke. "By Allah's will," the child said. "O mother, be patient, for you are upon the truth." With those words of reassurance from her own child, her heart became firm. She took that final step forward, and the fire consumed them both. The Qur'an immortalizes this event, condemning the oppressors with words that echo across the centuries. Cursed were the companions of the trench when they sat by it, and they were witnesses to what they did to the believers. The tyrants watched, and they approved. They thought they were winning, but Allah makes one thing absolutely clear. The fire did not end their story. Those believers were not defeated. They were victorious. They achieved the ultimate success. Allah promises them gardens beneath which rivers flow, a reward of eternal bliss. As for the tyrants, they face a punishment far greater and more terrifying than any fire they could ever light on this earth. This story is not just about persecution. It's about purpose. It teaches us that true faith isn't proven when life is easy and comfortable, but in moments of profound conviction and hardship. It shows us that belief is not just words we speak in times of ease, but a truth we uphold even when facing the greatest difficulties. It's a powerful reminder that tyrants and oppressors may control our bodies, but they can never, ever control our hearts or our souls. And this story speaks directly to every single believer in every generation who feels alone, pressured, or threatened for holding on to the truth. Allah is Al-Aziz, the Almighty, the All-Powerful, and He is Al-Hamid, the praiseworthy. No sacrifice made for His sake, big or small, is ever forgotten or wasted. The people of the trench were burned in the fire, but their faith, their story, and their legacy still burn brighter than the flames that were meant to silence them, and it always will. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that brings the lessons of our faith to life.